Alright everybody, so I'm going to show you in a video how to use fusible interfacing with conductive fabric. So we have our fabric here and our fusible interfacing here. There's a smooth back and kind of a textured front. We're going to start working with the smooth back. I always want to be conservative with my fabric, so the first thing I'm going to do is mark out about how much of this fusible interfacing I need. So I'm only cutting a circuit that's about like 3 inches by 2. So I shouldn't really need much more than this. Maybe I'll go a little bigger just in case. We'll call that good. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. Okay. So now I've got my piece of fusible interfacing, I've got my conductive fabric, and I'm going to try and find a place for this that uses up the least amount of space. I've got a nice right angle over here-ish, so I'll probably do something like that. Alright, so now we've got that laid down. The next thing that I want to do is ideally take another piece of fabric and put it over top. Ideally this would be like a thinner piece of fabric, or actually if the remnants that come off of this fusible interfacing, like the paper backing, that's a really good barrier to put between the conductive fabric, fusible interfacing while you're ironing it. Tissue paper also works well. So I'm going to go ahead and put this over, and I'm going to take my iron that has been set to poly. It's ready to go, and I'm just going to place it over that fabric and hold it. There's no steam. We don't want any steam. I'm holding it for about 10 seconds. Now I'm going to rotate my position. Holding it. We want to use a low setting, and we don't want to fuse it for too long, because the fibers in this fabric, if they get too hot, they will melt and they will stop, they will lose their conductive property. So this looks pretty good to me. And at this point, we can, so like that corner didn't get fused down, so we might want to go back in lightly just for a moment and apply some heat in a concentrated way right there. Okay. But once you're finished, you'll be able to peel off that backing, and you'll see there's a little bit of a shine here. Right? And that means that your adhesive has successfully transferred from the paper to the textile. Now we can go ahead and cut this out. There are times where you may want to keep this paper backing on. When we use the vinyl cutter, it's much easier if we just take it off and position the fabric adhesive side down directly onto the mat. It will stay in place much better. Alright, so that's it. I'm going to go ahead and cut this out, take off the backing, and then we'll get to cutting.